back to my channel. I do hope you're doing well. Guys, can you believe we are back with another sit down with Shan? And I tell you now, this has probably been one that I have had a very, very large response on. And you can tell by the title. I don't know if I'm going to do it Nightmare Neighbours or Neighbours from Hell, but I am not the only one who seems to be dealing with I can't even speak the words. There is a lot of you out there having a lot of problems, like myself and like many others who haven't messaged in. But why are we going through this? Where are the authorities? Oh, if you do hear some background noise like rumbling, thumping, jingling, it's currently 7:30 on a Saturday afternoon because I haven't been able to film this throughout the day because we've had Bang Crash Wallop again from Footloose. So I thought I'll do it after. I've just had a bath. I've even washed my hair, guys. I've even given the hair the first wash and the bath looked like quite terrible, let's just say. As you can imagine, bright red hair dye. Oopsie, sorry Mama G, I will have to help you clean that later. But yeah, it's 7:30 on a Saturday evening and the washing machine that sounds like Air Force One is currently on and off the cycle. So if you do hear thumping, rattling, jingling, that is just my chandelier that is going through the walls with the vibrations. So I thought, well, it's just fitting, ain't it? It's just fitting for this topic to be having some background noise. Guys, we have the iPad, trusty old iPad. We have a huge tumbler. If you remember, this was what I picked up from Amazon. I was going to take it on holiday with me to the Dominican and then couldn't kind of fit it in my hand luggage or suitcase and I was already well over. So I have got this filled, I would love to say, with a nice cocktail, a nice Baileys. No, this is filled with a nice iced coffee. So we're halfway there. It should really be filled with water and H2O because we're trying to get there back into the water intake, but it's not quite there. But I only have one of these a day. This is like my coffee allowance now. And I thought, you know what? For this type of topic, we need coffee. So guys, sit back, get your drink. Let's get ready to have a good old moan. Because, hey, what is a sit down with Shan without a little bit of a moan? And start to go through where we can put the world to rights, eh? I mean, what do I know? Just a 27-year-old still living at home. So, as you all know, normally we sit down with Shans, we change about a bit, don't we? But I've kind of got my little setup, so I'm very comfy and cozy. The only thing, I've been really suffering with headaches lately. As you all know, from Mother's Day, I was quite poorly. I don't know if there was a bug or a virus going around, but I was zapped. And now I'm just having like a daily migraine. So probably the caffeine ain't helping, but oopsie. So I asked over on my Instagram, guys, if you don't know, I have a food and a lifestyle Instagram. They're always down below in the Linktree app. Click on that. It gives you everything and anything to do with me. If you want to know my TikToks, anything like that, it's all on there. I ask you over on there, and I also say, like, the little boxes, they're not a lot of description, are they? So a lot of you actually do DM me, and you can also feel free to email into me. If I have you via email, I will always do a big group chat. It'll all be blind CC'd, so no one, you don't get notified when everyone replies, but I send that out and I'm like, guys, doing this topic, if you want to send anything in, let me know. And we've had a very, very large response. So the first one to kick it off says, my neighbour punched my sister in the face, then he submitted CCTV to the police of it. Number one, good, and I hope he got reprimanded, having to send his own CCTV for his disgusting actions. And I do hope your sister was okay. I mean, I'm not going to lie, I've never got into fisticuffs with the neighbours, but it's been very close. It's been to the point where I've been held back by people, whether that be mum, whether that be other neighbours. It has got to that point, but I've thrown stuff at people. I'm not going to lie, I've thrown stuff in people's direction. I haven't yet got my hands on someone, but trust me, when that mist comes, if you was with me, it always seems to spark up around Christmas time, doesn't it? I remember any Vlogmases is always drama. And I remember, I think it was it last year? I mean, it's pretty much a daily occurrence now, but I think when it got really bad last year, I think it was just before my holiday, Mum was like, as soon as I was getting in from work, Mum was locking the door and hiding the key. Because if I got out and I got round there, And then just before Christmas, when obviously all the DIY started, I would be going around there. And let's say there was a few little marks left in their door from my Doc Martens. There was several battered fence panels, let's just say, and it was either the fence panel got it or someone else got it. But yeah, to actually, it aggravates me because I read it a lot in these. People, your nightmare neighbours, for example, will give it. I am very much, I will shout up. If you want to then shout down to me, I'm coming round to your door. Okay, let's settle this and have it face to face. It aggravates me when they'll lean out of a window or they'll talk through a door. That don't do it for me. So I do hope that your sister was okay. I mean, his actions, disgusting, and I hope he did get reprimanded for it. But I could see myself doing that to someone. But however, I don't agree on the man versus woman. No. I know we're in the 21st century and people are like, well, if women give it... No. I am very old school and I think, okay, a man can restrain a woman without smacking her. And I hope that his CCTV went straight to the police and he got dealt with and he is now feeling like the stupid idiot. Next. Yes, that is what it will do. One of my lovelies says, can totally relate about the wash machine and DIY. I lose my shizzle. It's always at night and weekends, especially when you get home from work and you're eating or chilling and they just start when they know when to start. Oh my God, amen. We are in the same boat. This is the thing. So I have, whenever we speak about Footloose upstairs and everything like that, I have people say, well, when else are they supposed to do it? La-di-da-di-da. In council, or even not in council, even if you own your own home, there are rules set by the borough you live in regarding antisocial noise, noise pollution, everything like that. DIY renovations, everything like that. For my particular council, it is Monday to Friday, 8 AM till 6 PM. That is more than adequate. That's 10 hours of a day, okay? On a Saturday, it is 8 till 1, so you get 5 hours, and Sunday is nothing. Sunday is like rest day. You can do as you please throughout the day. I do not care. Mama G does not care. Mum's in and out. I'm at work. I get back at 5:30. Okay, I deal with half-hour banging. When it then continues to 7:30, 8, 9 o'clock at night, and it's not like a little tap. You're drilling still. You're banging still. You're hoovering. We're in a block of 4. It's a 2B2. Diagonal to us is a lady in her 50s, and next door to us is a lady in their 70s. We all have respect, except the person who unfortunately is above me and next door to the 50-year-old. Whenever you go round, Mum goes round now because I can't deal with the rudeness and shit arrogance. All you are met with is, I can do what I want. They kiss your teeth at you, which, I have said several times that if they carry on doing that, you're not going to have any teeth to kiss out of. Because I think that is the lowest, most rudest. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. By going around and saying like knock it off, you sometimes get met with show me the rules. This is by people who don't even live here. So this is like the workman or the family. I ain't going to show you the rules because the bird who lives up there knows the rules and she's playing the rules to her advantage. And you know what? The card, when was it? Was it earlier in the year or just before Christmas? It's been fairly recently. I'd say probably maybe just after Christmas. I had the race card thrown at me. I was told that I was racist. No, absolutely not. I do not like the fact that you're banging and hoovering around my head at 9 o'clock at night. And then on a Saturday, I'm getting woken up at 7 o'clock in the morning and you're continuing your work till 3, 4 in the afternoon. Then it goes quiet for a lovely few hours. I think, great, I can do a little bit of work. 7 o'clock, you start hoovering. And then on a Sunday, when you want to start building and banging the bathroom set, which, may I add, the council, so my council are aware that the tenant upstairs has completely ripped out kitchen, bathroom, the whole lot, toilet. When Mum called to say she wanted to do it, no. They said to Mum, you can't even change much as a door handle because it's council property. Understandable. So the council have been aware of all of these renovations since November. So we've had November, December, January, February, March. It's just the past 2 weeks we've had a little bit of silence. So say 4 or 5 months. The council have been aware of this. And do you think they've done the home visit that they said they was going to do? Absolutely not. I can guarantee that if I withheld the rent for the amount of noise and disruption I've been put up with for 4 or 5 months, do you think they'd even let it get to 4 or 5 days after the rent payment was due? No. And I feel that my council won't do anything because they're worried the race card will be played on them. But I feel that you can be racist against other races. I personally feel that I am being victimised against for my race, and also the fact that I am a younger woman. It seems that the lady above me does not take kindly to having confrontation to a younger person, and she tries to dismiss it and belittle me. I'm not being dismissed and belittled. I feel me and mum have been very patient over the past 5 years, and we've had confrontations and then it goes quiet, then it sparks back up. A lot of people in our situation could make one phone call and that would be dealt with, and then it would all get out of hand. I mean, I could call people who I work with. We could be absolute terrors when she's trying to sleep. 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, blare the music out, go round randomly and just start pressing your doorbell. We could be absolute terrors. But me and mum are not like that. But I think it got to the point last year where it was like fight fire with fire. You bang, I bang. But you know what my council had the audacity to tell me? So we went through 2 years of doing logs, doing noise recordings with a piece of equipment that, oh my god, it's probably been left in the 18th century. They wouldn't take my recordings, say for example from this camera, because they think that I tampered with them or enhanced the noise. Right. Out of those 2 years, she had one warning, and that was only for the fact that we had 5 hours, I think, of constant banging, dropping chains, which the police had to get called. When the police called, do you think she opened the door? No. And the police wouldn't force entry. They would not stand there. They knocked a few times and come around and said she's not answering. Now, I tell you, if that was me, for example, or a youngster blaring their music out, they would have gained entry to my property. So it's very, very aggravating. And it's not just ourselves in the block that hears the noise. Obviously, when all the DIY works were going on till God knows what o'clock, the person next door who, yeah, he's the parking attendant of the street. We've got people across the road with newborn babies. They all heard it. So the council are aware of all of this, not just from the people in the block, but from people on the street, and they still do not care. They still do not care. And I get what you mean when you say you just sit down, because it is literally like they must have a hidden camera in this house. They know exactly when I'm about to sit down, eat my dinner and put a film on, and then it will start. And you're just like, really? And the whole thing with the washing machine, we've never had any problems with someone with their washing machine. Like, we've had 2 families and an elderly lady living up there before in our time living here, and you've never heard the washing machine. Mum feels, because washing machine ain't really an appliance that I associate myself with yet, I must say. Mum seems to think it's not balanced, to which Mum's put letters through and she sends a letter back saying it is. Okay. Or Mum feels there's not enough in a load, and it's like rattling because there's not enough in a load. I don't really know that area of my forte, but I think you've gone through all the channels, and now I'm actually in a case with the Housing Ombudsman against my council. And the Housing Ombudsman are, how can I put this politely? They've had my case for 2 years and they have still not yet assigned it to be investigated because they are short-staffed. Why are companies still using the C word as a staff issue to get out of things? It aggravates me. It really does aggravate me, because if I, as I say, was to withhold any rent, oh my goodness, I'd have a letter through on my day, probably when that payment is due to get taken. If that payment failed, Mum would have a call and would have a letter the next day. Just goes to show, unfortunately, councils, they're all good for bumping up your council tax rates and getting your rent. When it actually comes to doing something, that hopeless. So I get it, my lovely, and the fact that you're going through it, I get it. We all lose our shizzle, and as I say, I think if you don't lose your shizzle, it's not normal. I mean, there are very calm people in this world, but I'm not. I get to a point and then I'm like, boom, hot-headed, red-headedness comes out of me. One of my, oh, I love this. And I tell you what, you know what? It's bad that I'm actually considering this now. One of my lovelies says, sign them up for lots of free stuff like tampons, STD kits. STD kits, and bombard them with loads of crap. I'm really thinking about that, because in council properties, you cannot run a business from the premises point blank. And I may have done a little bit of digging. We all know that if, say for example, a woman needs to find something out, we're like FBI detectives, aren't we? And I have found out that since the time of the tenant living up there, she has had 3 registered businesses that have all just supposedly gone bankrupt. And part of me really wants to send a letter to this new business, because all of a sudden, when the renovation work started going on, the business address was changed from here to another part of London. Isn't it amazing what you can find out on Companies House? Yes, it is lovely. And my personal thing is all these works going on. There's a new car. She had one driving lesson here, so God knows how that worked out. But by the ways of her parking, it's not that great. So I did a little bit of digging, and I saw the tax accounts for last year, and I thought, something doesn't add up. If that is your business and you are the sole worker, sole director, everything like that, and that is your turnover, how on earth are you paying for rent? So with our council, probably like yours guys, if you work, they have like brackets. And if you earn XYZ, you pay that amount. If you earn ABC, you earn that amount. La-di-da-di-da. She was very vocal to Mum before, saying, I pay full rent. Da-da. When Mum pulled her up and said, well, how much do you pay? Because we pay full rent. The council, all they keep doing is adding more and more to it. She was like, well, surely you'd know if you pay full rent, you know how much you pay. She wouldn't tell Mum. I found the turnover and I was like, there is not a chance in hell she's paying any rent for that. And you know what I think? I think personally for her business, which let's not even go into, I feel a lot of it is probably not going through the books, my lovelies. And that would explain renovations, new car, because what happens if you've got surplus cash and you need to get rid of it? You spend it. So there is no trace of it back to yourself. And the amount of men that are in and out of that property with, you know, like the big laundry bags, big old laundry bags that go in with these laundry bags and then come out with none. So if you're going in with laundry, surely you would come out with fresh laundry, the amount that washing machine's on. There's a new bath that's gone in, a new toilet that's gone in. It always smells of a certain substance when you go around there. And I tell you now, that bath panel comes off every evening. 5:45, when I'm about to run my bath, you'll hear a drill, beep, beep. That bath panel will come off and then it goes on. Now, I might be trying to be Miss Marple here, but I think there could be a few little illicit activities going on up there. You probably could watch this and think, Shan, what the hell are you waffling on about? Please do tell me. But I'm just trying to be logical. And when you add it all up, it doesn't seem right. And that's why I think the council don't want to get involved anyway. Because they think if they go up there and it unearthed a can of worms, they've got to deal with that. And you know what? My council don't even like dealing with anything that makes them sign a bit of paperwork. So yes, God, we've had a little rant in it. But yeah, I'm definitely now considering signing them up for loads of stuff. Is that terrible of me? Is that terrible? Because I'd die at that. I'd want to be here though to see them receive it. Oh, guys, see, you give me ideas. You're naughty. You're giving me ideas. Another one of my lovelies says, I can't say much. So I have a lovely neighbour one side and the other neighbour the other side complains about everything. You got the best of both. You've got a nice one and you got a thing. This is the thing. So our communal block of 4, we always got on. Always got on. And it was ever since, I say, the first night that the tenant moved in upstairs, they was building a wardrobe till 11:30 at night. Mum went round. The neighbour's son went round next door. The 70-year-old lady's son went round. And the lady's son up there. Nothing. No regard of respect. Anything at all. And I think, well, you know what? You've set yourself off to a wrong foot. And that's it. Because you've just continued to disrespect everyone in the block. And there's like the lady next door. She's lived here, I think, like 20 odd years. We've been here. God, I've lost count now. How long have we been here? Probably coming up decades. Yeah, probably decades. The lady up there, she's been up there for like 40 odd years. And I think you've come in and you just disrupt the whole thing. It's not on. Not on at all. Next. And then one of my lovelies are, they say, my neighbours flooded my kitchen and the best bit, he was a plumber apparently. I hear ya. The amount of dodgy workmen upstairs, and I probably said it on one of the vlogs, I think. We was sitting there, Mum was like, oh my God, there's water coming through the electrical cupboard. Yeah, they was apparently qualified plumbers putting in all this bathroom stuff? And clearly not, because they hadn't put a seal on the bath and we had all water coming down and no electrics cupboard. Council wouldn't come out to it. You know why? Because it is not through fault of their own. Speak to her upstairs. If it's works that they have not approved, they won't come out and fix it. So that's all right. We'll just have an electrical cupboard go up in flames. It was only for the fact that I sent several letters, had to go on Twitter, keep calling and go through their online form thing, that they eventually sent someone out. And you know what they done? They just put a black paper bag over the top. I mean, what is the actual point, my lovelies? What is the actual point? But yeah, it makes you laugh, doesn't it? And you know what? If that done any damage to your kitchen, they would expect you to probably claim off your home insurance. Why should you do that and put your premium up for someone's incompetence? Absolutely not. Let's have a look. Oh my God. This, if this ever happened to me, let me tell you, I would not be sitting here right now. Someone says, my neighbour used to poop in dog poo bags and throw them over my fence. They didn't even own a dog. That is just the next level of disrespect and wrongness. And you know what I'd do? I'd go back and put it through their letterbox. Or, did they have a car? I'd empty it on their car windscreen. That is disgusting for them to do that to you. And I hope they've moved out or you are far gone from that. And also, actually, send me a little message, my lovely, if you're watching this. How did you deal with that? Because I know I would have gone ape. I would have lost it. Think you're chucking that out? That's human feces they're chucking to you. I'm putting it on your windscreen if you've got a car, or I'm putting it back through your letterbox. If I'm really angry, I'm going to smear it on your doorstep. That is nasty. I mean, it's all about having your arguments and everything, but that is like unsanitary, it's unhygienic, it's damn right. Ugh. No. No, 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 no. Right. These are like longish ones because these are what have come through to me via email and on email and Instagram. Right. Let's have a look. So one of my lovelies, I understand you with this one. I wouldn't say mine are bad, but I do have two neighbours across from me with dogs that yap and bark every time someone goes past the house. Or if someone's parked, like my husband coming home from work, for example, they just bark at anything and don't seem to care. I also have a neighbour next door who likes to burn grass cuttings and that kind of thing in her back garden without any notice. So it's not great when the washing's outside and she starts it to give any warning and the clothes get smoky. Now, yappy dogs, oh my God, guys. So remember the 70-year-old lady next door, she used to have chickens, and oh my God, them chickens would drive me crazy because they were like roosters. No lie, 5 o'clock in the morning you did, you'd think, oh no, 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 no. Thankfully the chickens are no longer here. They kindly departed to chicken heaven, so she didn't get any more. We've got, I think it's like 4 doors down, a couple, and they have 2 Bichon Frise. Yappy ain't even the word. Their names are Lilo, which, you know, I love my Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Chiquita. Oh, guys. When they start, because next door to them, a new couple's moved in, and they've got 2 Rottweilers. So you can imagine, right, you've got like a deep, and then you've got, and you hear that, and it's always when I get in the bath. Like 5:45, I'll have my bath panel come off above me head. 6 o'clock, I've got the dogs having a fist fight out there. And then there's like a little dog opposite who is like a total, he's like a window twitcher for a dog. I absolutely love him. I don't know what type he is. They call him Serge, and he's like, he's just got a really, it might be like a terrier of some kind. And he's got like this big beard, and he just sits at the window. And he doesn't bark at everyone and anyone. He only barks at people he don't like the look of. So if you hear him barking, you know, oh, like he doesn't recognise them, or they don't normally come down this street. He's like a proper little curtain twitcher. He'll know who walks down. If he sees anyone he don't like the look of or he's not used to, he will bark. It's annoying, ain't it? And you think for something so tiny, like, oh, a little cute Bichon Frise, oh my God. put a muzzle on it and please be quiet. And the thing is, they've both got babies, the Rottweiler people and the Bichon Frise people. And I think, surely your babies must hear that. Like, how? I think if I was to ever have a dog, as soon as it barks, I'd be like, shh. Because I'd be so worried about it causing, like, disruption to people. I'd be like, no, shh. Give it a treat or something, like, stop barking. Which probably then they'll bark more because they want more treats. So that contradicts the option. But, yeah, I get it. The thing with the grass cuttings, I mean, that's just inconsiderate, ain't it? There's nothing stopping them knocking your door and being like, oh, I'm going to be doing, like, say, a barbecue or burning or da-da-da, just to let you know because you got your washing out. A 2-minute act of kindness to let you know. And then you could be like, all right, quickly bring it in, done, dusted. That, I think, is, see, it's all about inconsiderate people, isn't it? It doesn't take a lot to be considerate. Like, I'm up most mornings from 3, half 3. I know that she sleeps until 5 because she leaves at 6. I could get up, bang, crash, slam the bathroom doors, put the radio on in the back room. I don't. If I watch anything, I put my blooming headphones in my room. So it is, I think, about consideration and kind of like respect. But I feel when that's gone, it's gone. And look at that. I kissed my teeth through pure anger just thinking about that. Let's get some coffee and get back into ranting, eh? Right, we're still in the same position. I've just kind of rearranged myself because I was getting a little bit of a stiff back. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Right, one of my lovelies. A few years ago, we lived in a little cul-de-sac next door to a policeman and his family. Every weekend, they had parties, Friday and a Saturday, that used to go on till 3 or 4 in the morning. Because of him being a policeman, no one dare say anything. I worked as a community carer and started work at 6:30 even on the weekends. This went on for months. Then it was my 30th birthday and I had a few friends round. He knocked on my door and said, I don't mind you having your friends round as long as you are quiet by 11. One rule for them and one different rule for everyone else, right? Pot kettle black, mate. Turn around and swivel and go. Well, the following weekend, they had their usual party by 1:30. I was losing my shizzle for half an hour. They played the same song on repeat full volume. Oh my God, is there anything worse? I did no more but went round, hammered on his door till he opened, and when he did, I looked him straight in the face and said, I give you 20 seconds to turn that shizzle off, or I'll come in and smash whatever it is you're playing that song on. You can call the police on me and let's see what they say when one of their own is breaking the law every weekend. He did no more but turned it off. After that, they never spoke to me anymore, and any party they had finished by 11. The best bit was 2 months later they moved and the whole cul-de-sac has been a much nicer place to live. Wow, you sound like me. You actually sound like me. And I've got flashbacks of me with a party incident like that. This is the thing, right? You know, sometimes the worst offenders are the rule implementers. I mean, look at our government, for example, during C lockdown. Having their parties and that, and yet we was all supposed to be social distancing. Lead by example. And if you're giving a poor example, how on earth do you expect people to fall in line and follow? That is a pee take. You'd understand if people have a soiree, like a party, for an occasion, for example, or once a month, hey ho. Every Friday, Saturday, yeah, you're taking them. You're working, as you say. You have to get up early. Too right. I bet you if he was on an early shift, he wouldn't like it. See, this is the thing that, not Footloose, but the person next door, the parking attendant of the street, they're very much one. When they have parties, it'll go on till like 2, 3 in the morning. And I went round the last time and I made it very clear, like you did, it goes off or I'm coming back with something and I'll make it turn off. And since then, their parties have stopped by 11. The first response to them when I went round was, whoa, it's not every day. I can do what I want. I get it. But I've got work in the morning. This was a Sunday night. I don't have work. You might not, mate, but I've got work. And I'm telling you, can you turn it down a bit? And they used to do karaoke. Nothing worse than karaoke songs being belted out and it sounds like cats being strangled. It was horrendous. The thing that used to aggravate me as well was they would have children there. And I don't like alcohol being around kids. Like some of them was like 2, 3 years old. I don't feel that's a good example, especially if you're getting intoxicated and you've got little ones there. You don't know what's going on. You're then putting them upstairs to bed. You don't know what on earth is happening. You're not monitoring them. And that would like really get my gripe up. You probably think it's weird because I'm not maternal for myself, but I think of situations and I think, well, no, hold on. You've put your kid and you're getting intoxicated. You know what, guys? Half of them, they used to drive home. Disgusting. Disgusting, disrespectful, irresponsible beyond belief. And I went around there one time and I think it was, they always seem to do it on the month. And it would always be the week of the month when it was Mother Nature. So, you know, you just want a hot water bottle. You just want silence. Your head will be pounding. You just want to be chill. And our rules are like yours. It has to be off by 11. You'd let it go to 12. I let it go to 1. I let it go to half 1. It got to 2 a.m. and I was met with, I'm only 2 hours over. No, actually it stops at 11. No, I own my place. Don't matter if you own it or you cancel, it's still the borough's rules. You still have to abide by a borough's rules. And then he tried showing me something on his phone and I was like, look, it either goes off or I will walk in and I'm going to get something and I'm going to make it turn off. That was it, point blank, ended. And then, as I say, since then, the parties have not been as terrible, but I feel like it could spark up in the summer. However, Mum wants to be a party animal this summer. She's like, we're going to get the garden done, we're going to get a new little garden set, we're going to be out there. And I'm like, you're kind of fighting fire with fire. But then you have to think, do you have to play them at their own game? I mean, Mum wants to do say it or shot it's in the garden. Can we imagine how that's going to go? And I can guarantee if any of the neighbours look over and we're filming there with a camera and they stare, she'll be very vocal to ask them, what are you looking at? So I'm like, oh God. This might not go down too well, you know. But this is what I don't get. You can't dish out the rules or dish out certain behaviours if you can't take it. And you know what? I'm so glad they moved out. So glad they moved out and that you've got a happier life now, my lovelies. Let's have a look. Another one who says, many years ago we had a neighbour whose son sold drugs. Had people staying at the house, very loud music at all hours of the day and night, and they even locked his mother in a room. Oh my goodness. In them days you reported it to the police who went round, was quiet for a while, and then they started jumping over the gardens to get to his loud music again. Reported, told to keep a diary, but before council could do anything, the men who lived on the other side had had enough. Just happened to see him walking down the back alley, and let's just say they gave him a warning and it stopped. The trouble now is everything is PC. You can't say or do anything. I hear you. Sweetheart, you've gone down every channel and the council are not doing their job. I know that you've done everything asked. To be honest, people know you can't do anything. 1, kids will say you can't hit me, but they can hit you. The race card, which as far as I'm concerned, works both ways. I wish there was an easy answer. It's not so much these days. I'm completely there. You know what? Give him a warning down a back alley. This is what I mean. So you've got to think, for 5 years, guys, I cannot think of 1 month where we haven't had like disruption. And you understand people moving in and bits and bobs being done. It's the out of hours and it's the attitude that you get met with. And I'm sorry, if you're going to give me attitude, I'm giving it to you back. I will dish out to you what you give to me. If you talk to me normally, I'll talk to you normally. If you want to stand there and give me attitude and kiss your lips and look me up and down, I'm going to get attitudey with your back. It's fire with fire. That of giving a warning is something that could have been done many a times. But for the sheer common sense that I have, let's just say, it hasn't gone down that route. Because if it did, who knows? I mean, if it did, I probably wouldn't have this problem and I'd be getting peace and quiet. But that's something that gets taken into consideration. This is the thing. Everything is so... Can't say that. Can't do that. Can't say that. The race card does get overused and it can be used both ways. As I say, I do feel that I am being racially victimised against by my tenants upstairs because they know how to play the system. They know by calling me racist. If they called me and said that I was racist, I was like, whatever. It did not surprise me they played out the race card. I spoke to my local council, I spoke to my local police department, and I spoke to the local, I think they're called like, is it policing neighbourhood, like the community people. None of them wanted to know. None of them. I can guarantee you if they went to the same authorities and said that I'd been racist, I'd have been arrested. So where is the logic and the morality, let's just say, there? There's none. And that's what I think is wrong in this day and age. And I think that is why you have so many angers and revolts and protests. And like, I feel within my time of living, I feel we will see a civil war within the UK, because I think it is a ticking time bomb. Like, I feel already there is a very big thing on women's rights. There's a song that's coming out. I don't actually know if it's already out. I hear it on TikTok. It's called Labour. And if you've seen it or heard it, let me know down below. And it is basically the trials and tribulations of being a woman. And with everything going on with, oh, how do I word this? Transgender, transitioning. You do you, but I feel that some of the comments coming out, you're trying to take away being a woman from a woman. They're saying that you can't call it breastfeeding. They're saying you can't, in a hospital, it's not a maternity ward. What is going on? When you are born, there are only 2 genders of which you can be born, male or female. That's all you see on a birth certificate. I mean, I dread to think what on earth could be on a birth certificate in years to come. If you want to go from male to female or female to male, absolutely. But it should not then deter qualities away from people who are genetically born in that one gender and are staying that, for someone who's transitioned to turn around and try and belittle that gender. That I don't agree with. I do not agree with. And some of the stuff that I read up on, it infuriates me. Like, part of me does feel like going to these protests, because I feel as a woman, you do have the right to express yourself like a man does, totally. But when there's a TikTok and it's about all the storylines in soaps over the years, and there's one that comes up and it's from Stacey from EastEnders, and she says, like, do you understand what it means to be a woman? Don't wear that in case someone finds it appealing. Make sure you carry that just in case someone follows you. Don't drink that just in case it's been spiked. Don't go out with them just in case there's something. Don't use that taxi firm just in case. We as women, so I have been born a woman, and I don't want this to get into a big debate because I feel like there's so much going on, but personally for me, born as a woman, identify as a woman, she, her, everything like that. If you want to transition and do what you do to feel comfortable, by all means do that. But when you need to be put in a woman's shoes, so sometimes I work with a lot of men in construction, and some of them are very young. Being young, they're naive. And you'll hear of certain stories and it'll be like, well, maybe she didn't wear that. Maybe she was being too nice to him. In this day and age, should a woman not be able to wear what she wants without the fear of someone who has illicit thoughts, for example, and cannot control themselves? Because I tell you what, I don't see a man down the street, and if he's good looking, I wouldn't wolf whistle or beep or shout out of a car window like a baboon. It's disgusting. And yet they think it's funny. They think it's clever. I think a really big story that's come out, I think it was last week, the sentencing. You might have seen the Stephen Bear and Georgia Harrison case. Now, he was someone who thought he was going to get away with it. Point blank, he thought. And it just goes to show the repercussions of stuff that goes on every day, no doubt. Lads will think they're being lads by secretly filming stuff. Then you'll share it around. That is illegal. And this case has proven you will go to prison for that. Men I don't feel they have the same safety or security issues that women have. Right, for example, I want to get back into my running. It's getting nice, it's staying lighter a bit, but I like to go for a late night run, probably leave home like 7:30, 8ish and go for an hour's run because the temperature's settling, it's cooler. Mum, I was on TikTok the other day and I said, oh, look at this, isn't it cool? And it's like a big key ring and it has all of these safety things on for a woman. And Mum was like, get it. And I said, she's like, get it. It has a thing to open doors just in case, like say a door had been laced with something and you touch it and then like you can get drugged. It has a seatbelt cutter. It has something to pop a window in a car. It has a whistle, and it also has a panic alarm. Now this panic alarm is loud. Wow, it's loud, okay? I received it yesterday and I tested it all out. You pull out this pin and it's like, it also has a light on it. And Mum says, when you go out running, I'll have my headphones on because I can't run without music. I can't run without music. I will not have it blaring, of course, but I will still have my headphones on. Mum's like, you run with that in your hand. So as soon as someone touches you and thing, you pull the alarm, that's it. It could be someone I know. Someone could be telling me, I don't know, you've dropped your key or whatever. That, I don't feel men have to think of. I really don't. A woman should be able to go for a walk, pop to a shop, go for a run, go to a country park without thinking, I need to be covered up with that, I need to have that just in case, I need to carry that, I need to let them know where I am. I don't like it. I don't like it. And that's because everything is so, I don't know what is going on with this world. And the thing with the kids nowadays, guys, I see some of the youngsters in my area now and I just look at them and I think, oh my God, where are your parents? And that is what they say. So they'll get into an argument with the guy, say, at the local shop. We have so many chicken shops now popping up in our village, and it never used to be like that. And I think the chicken shops are bringing people in from other towns to the village, and it's causing havoc. And the most common thing you hear, can't do nothing, touch me and I'll get you sued. They know how to play the system. These kids are like 12, 13 years old. And you know what? I think, God, when we used to go to the little local fish and chip shop, you'd always get that one. You'd always get the one of the group who'd be a bit lippy to the guy and you think, oh, come on, you just want like your snack. And they would not care. They would drag them out, chuck them out of the shop. Yeah, what are you going to do? They just shut the door and not let you in anymore. You can't do that now. That shopkeeper would be arrested and probably done for assault. Not that the parents have like let their little tyrant out and he's been causing havoc. It baffles me. It absolutely baffles me. And this is probably another reason why I don't want kids. I don't want the stress. I don't want the worry. I don't. People might think I'm selfish, but hey ho. Right, let's have a look. Another one of my lovelies. We've got loads. I love this. I'm not naked. I do have shorts on, guys. So, one of my lovelies says, I had downstairs from hell for 13 years. Was an old couple, and every time we put the toilet seat down, he would bang up on the ceiling with his walking stick. And also, when we come down the stairs, he was already at his door saying to me and my children, you're like a couple of elephants coming down the stairs. And when my dad comes over, he used to tell him to move his car as it was parked too near to his. It was terrible. However, I now have the best next door neighbours ever and become good friends, and that is how it should be. Yes, that is how it should be. Honestly, everyone just wants to live harmoniously. Well, any decent person would just like to live and get on with people, eh? That's how you just want to live. You just want it to be happy, done, dusted. If, say, you go and your work's stressful, you just want to come home and chill. You don't want to come home and have more stress, do you? That thing with the people banging with the walking stick, that is what I hear so many people of. And you know what it is? It's when elderly people are above and you're downstairs. Like we had an elderly lady before, and she had this thing when she used to get out of her little chair, it'd like bang against the wall, and you'd think, oh my God, I'd never ever bang up to her, because you have respect for it. However, sometimes elderly people don't have respect and they will bang up to you for the slightest thing, or sometimes you might not even make noise and they will just hear something and think it's you and bang up. So I have heard that quite a lot. And I mean, personally, I think, right, so the comment about thinking you're elephants, I think sometimes noise can be over exaggerated in some people's minds. The current situation that we're in, I genuinely feel like, for the circumstances we're living in, and please don't take this offensively, but I feel if you are in an upstairs of a block, because these buildings are from the 1940s, 1950s, there's no insulation between us. My ceiling, then there's a hollowness, and then it's her floor. So you think that noise echoes and travels. If you are a larger person, let's just say, that noise will be tenfold because it will echo, and also the force of whatever activity you're doing. I think that if you are above, there needs to be a limit. And please don't take this offensively, but if you're not going to insulate the buildings properly, you could not have someone who could be classed as, I don't know, obese, morbidly obese. Because I really don't think that's fair to other people in the block. And if they was slightly larger, surely low ground floor levels would be better for them, their health, everything like that. I have never ever heard footsteps like footsteps we hear upstairs. It sounds like someone is stamping their feet, and it's not. They're just normally walking. And when you see them walk past, like even the little old man opposite, and he says, "How are they above you?" And we're just like, and he's like, "They shouldn't be." And it's like, well, what can you do? And I really don't want that to come across wrong, because I don't want you to think, well, if people are larger, you're saying they can't live upstairs. I'm not saying that at all. If you're in a modern building with insulation and soundproofing and everything like that, we're in a 1940s, 50s building that between her floor and my ceiling is hollow. Hollowness echoes. I said to the council before, lift the floorboard or take out part of the ceiling and pump that with insulation. The amount of rent that I pay on this, they could get that done in probably 2 months worth of rent. They won't do that. They ain't got the budget for it. But they said, by all means, if I found a surveyor, this will make you laugh, if I found a surveyor who could do a proper report and I got the works done and it was all approved, they would approve me to do that. So you want me to spend that money out of my pocket on top of what I already pay you to fix an issue that you don't want to do. And you've had how many millions of funding this year? Gets your back up, doesn't it, my lovelies? It does get your back up. Let's have a look. Oh no, this one says, this happened to my mum. One neighbour didn't like the fact that she planted a shrub by the adjoining fence, which means she couldn't easily see into my mum's garden. She was being known for nosy. And complained about this to my mum, saying it's too high. Anyway, my mum went out the next day to find the shrub all withered and dead. She's convinced that the woman poured poison on it during the night to kill it. Of course, we could never prove it, but I doubt a newly planted shrub would react like that of its own accord. Thankfully, my mum moved house a while after and is more settled where she is. Oh my God! Nah. I'd be over that fence and I'd have to cause some damage. Does she have plants? Did she have grass? Weed killer would become my best friend on that. It's an adjoining fence, so it would have been like part of your mum's side. Your mum could put a 10-foot tall fence, what do they call it, like a posy display, anything. Isn't it weird the lengths that people will go to? Like, I still keep flicking back to that lady who had to deal with the poo coming over in the bags. Like, if you really want to get petty, if I wanted to get petty, I could do stuff like that. I could put stuff through the letterbox. I could do something to the little gnomes that are by her door. Every time I come in and her rubbish is on our side of the path, I could kick it and put it through a letterbox. Like, you could be really petty, but I just think, who has the time? I think that's nasty. And I'm telling you now, like, weed killer would definitely be my best friend on that. Best friend. Right. Oh, I tell you what, I'm still chilly, my lovelies. I'm going to get actually under my covers or get my throw on me. And then we've got quite a few more left. So I tell you what, this is probably going to be one of the longest sit down with Shans. But let's get comfy, shall we? Right. So, we're on the ground floor and have someone above us. The landlord's put laminate in. I don't think they can put laminate if it's above the floor. That is one stipulation in our council. If you live on a like above, not a ground level, you can't put laminate in. You have to have carpet with sufficient underlay. Then a family moved in and it was hell. It was kind of fine, but then noise and the whole place would echo from jumping. You can hear things bounce off the wall. We told them about the noise and they said it was our problem. She would get rid of her daughter and have parties until 3 AM even in lockdown. I got 2 kids with ASD and ADHD. When we explained, told me it was my problem and we should move. Oh, no. Honestly, how I kept my cool, I will never know. I don't know either. They eventually did move as she got in my mum's face one day and, well, it escalated. When they moved out, we saw them being one of them mini trampolines out as well. Even when they did move, they come back and run around on the flooring until 8 maybe PM. Honestly, some people have no respect. This is the thing. There is no respect in this world anymore, I don't think. I really feel respect is lacking. And you know what? If I had children and got told it was my problem, boo! Nah. That would be when a warning would come in, I think. And I love when you say, if she got in your mum's face, it escalated. Damn right. Damn right. And you know what? It doesn't surprise me. A mini trampoline, that's probably up there bad to the back. Thinking it's fun. I feel there is different... Oh. I feel there is different rules, of course, being a ground floor to a first floor and second floor vice versa. Because you have to take into consideration there is people underneath you. Like, no. Honestly, my lovelies, I agree. People do not have respect. Right, this one really griped me, okay? This one griped me. One of my lovelies, I have an autistic daughter and the newest neighbours on the street literally stand and stare at my daughter and then pull their kids away, telling them not to go near her. She's not dangerous or violent. It absolutely kills me what they do to her. They also stand and stare through my house trying to look in. So I've ended up having to put a 6-foot fence up to stop them looking every time I open my door and blinds. There's also a communal car parking space for anyone or visitors, which I sometimes use as my daughter uses a wheelchair sometimes. They've put a skip on it. And now, they've put a skip on it, but it isn't their property. And now I can't get my daughter's wheelchair on the path. The skip has now been there for 4 months. They point blank ignore us and the husband is honestly so strange and literally just stands and stares. We also ended up putting a sign up explaining about our daughter because it was getting too much sometimes and very upsetting. Would you say something? Oh my goodness, would I say something? Would I say something? I probably would not be held accountable for my reactions. And I wish I lived nearer because that is who I feel I need to unload my... That's pure hatred. I'm sorry. That I detest that. When I read that, that really griped me because I know the lovely who sent that in and they are ever so... They do not deserve that. The fact... Oh. Shanique was brewing. The fact that your daughter cannot use her wheelchair, I would be on the phone every day to your local council or authorities because that's a health and safety risk. If you needed to get your daughter out in an emergency and the wheelchair was the only viable way of getting your daughter in and out of your property and that path is blocked, that is a health and safety hazard. If the skip is there and has not been used, if there's a name on the skip, I'd call that skip company and I'd be like, your skip's out in XYZ, it needs to get moved because... it needs to get moved. They'll probably be like, oh, well, we can't move it until the person contacts us. Well, I'm telling you, I have a daughter who needs a mobility device. If I cannot get that out, then your company will be getting the repercussions of whatever that may be. They'll come and move that skip. If you've not already said anything, I don't know how you're being so calm. I don't know how you're being so calm. Because I would have lost it by that point. Like, I'm very much, I will... take the arguments, whatever. When people start dragging mum into it, because mum's like my child, we're like vice versa, I'm like, no. If you remember, I feel it was not last winter, the winter before. You might tell I hold a grudge. The couple next door, the parking attendant man, his wife got in mum's face and was, let's say, trying to get one up on mum. And mum's normally quiet. Mum weren't quiet, good on her. But when I called her at work and she told me what happened, I was like, left work, I'm going. My boss was like, you got 2 hours left. I'm like, I'm going. I come back, I stood in that middle of our little cul-de-sac, I shouted her name. I banged her door. Do you think she'd come out to me? No. They then come out about 10 minutes later when I'm still pacing in the main communal park. And he come out with the child and I was like, put your kid in the car, I don't want you, I want her. You think she'd come out to me? She tried to be like, when you come down, I'll talk to you. I'm not coming down. You want to get in my mum's face and you want to try and belittle my mum and call Sorry, my lovely, is that cut out? I was waffling too much. Yeah, I think I got to the point where she was confronting mum and calling mum a few things, and yeah, I weren't having that. And you know what? I will not forget it. Oh, I think we've got the Hoover on, guys. What is it now? It's almost 8:30. Half 8 on a Saturday night. And now you want a Hoover. See, this is daily life that people have to deal with. You've had 8 till 1 to do it. You've probably been sleeping in your pit. Now you want to do your banging around and chores. Oh, thank you. We're turning it off now. But anyway, yeah, I will not. You want to get in my face? Absolutely fine. You want to get in mum's face? That's not happening. And do you think that bird, when she sees me now, she scarpers for her door? And I'll, depending what mood I'm in, sometimes I'll ignore her. Sometimes I'm like, hello. I'll say her name. I've not forgotten. I'm still here waiting when you want to talk. Thank you. And then, is this the last one? This is the last one, my lovelies. Right, this is a long one, okay? So in November, I moved into a block of 4 flats. It's a lovely block and everyone is pleasant and it's quiet. I feel more at home here than anywhere I have ever lived. Love that. Then someone moved out end of January, beginning of Feb. We hadn't seen or met the new tenant until we were all woken up at 1:30 AM till 4:30 AM with him sawing and drilling with his flat door open. Welcome to the block. We didn't know who it was or what was going on, so nothing was said. Until a week later, 2:30 AM again, banging and drilling. I went out onto the landing, asking him what the hell they thought he was doing, and they apologised and left. Okay. Although they left, I was wide awake, then saw another night of no sleep when I work full time and look after my dad. Disgusting that you've been put through this. A few weeks later, he came back and went all out to him and said, no more. It's not fair. He apologised to us all and agreed via his landlord to not make noise after 9 PM. This was okay for a week. Then 2 nights last week, I was woken between midnight and 2:30 AM. He shouldn't even be doing stuff till 9 PM. 6 PM it should stop. See, this is the thing, I don't know how it works with other boroughs, but they surely can't expect it to be okay for people to be doing DIY works and that till 9 PM at night. As you say, people work night work, people work late. Whoever makes these rules has clearly never lived in a block of flats, let me tell you that. At this point, I'm sleep deprived and ready to lose my shizzle. I went out and said, can you do whatever you're doing quiet and close your front door? He said, I haven't made any noise. I said, are you for real? I'm stood here at 2:30 AM because you woke me up. Believe me, I'd rather be sleeping. Ended up in a blazing row. Good on ya. Luckily, we all kept his landlord up to date with his attitude and shenanigans and he was evicted 2 days later. We're all praying just to get someone better. I'm not a confrontational person, I'm really not, but I won't have anyone ruining my peace and sleep. Damn right. This is my home, we will have to live in the block and we have to respect each other. But he came in like a bulldozer and it's not acceptable. Currently enjoying my sleep again and it's crazy the relief I felt when he went. Stay strong, people. Amen to that. This is the thing, it comes back to the word of respect. I just don't get people's lack of it. I really, really don't. Are people not brought up with respect and morals and... I don't know. Because I really don't feel like people are. Or people just lose them along the way. And I think, why? That, I'm good. I'm glad that you stood up and you went and you had it out with him. I mean, the fact it ended up in a blazing row, fabulous. I would have, whatever he was doing or drilling, that would have been coming apart. I would have been chucking that over the landing. But it just goes, this is what I don't get, okay? This absolutely fathoms me. How in our minds, you can think that drilling and sawing at early hours of the morning, 2 AM, 3 AM, 4 AM, is normal. What goes through someone's head to think that's normal? Because it's really not. And they're the types of people that when you, for example, like the police lady, when you had your party, he had the nerve to come around and tell you to turn it down. No. God, I've just fluffed up my hair there, innit? No, it don't work like that, mate, I don't think. I think you'll find it doesn't work like that. Respect, audacity, ignorance, incompetence, everything like that. And that's what people are having to put up with. So when I really wanted to do this episode because I feel sometimes if people log on and they just hear about Footloose, they think, oh, you're being a moany neighbour, shush. No. If you've been with me throughout, you know the story and you know the whole thing with Footloose. And I wanted this to show, it's not just me, I'm not just being a moany neighbour. No one is being a moany neighbour. If someone is disturbing your peace, your sleep, your tranquility, everything like that, you are entitled to have a moan up. I'm sorry, take please or offend, I think you're entitled to have a moan up. It goes to show that there is so much happening out there, and you know what the worst part is? The authorities do not care. Authorities don't care in the slightest. So this is why people have warnings. People take stuff into their own hands, and you know the only people that get repercussions? The people who have been the victims of it. This is the thing. I have to think smart, because I know if me and Footloose was to have an argument, even if she started it, I'd be the one going off in the back of a police van. And I know that point blank. And that is how... Oh, we've got it starting back up again. That is how tapped society is. And I think that is why people do take it into their own hands. And people will get to a point where they're just like, I don't care. Give me whatever repercussions you want. Like right now. So it's gone 8:30 on a Saturday night. There's hoovering. I could quite easily stop this film and go around and kick their door in. Which any normal person would. But who would be the one that would get the telling off? They don't care. They don't care that you've had years and years of logs and recordings. They couldn't give two hoots. They would just say, oh, criminal damage, yeah, come in the van with us. Not that, well, I ain't had decent night's sleep, mate, since November. Where was you when they was drilling 9, 10 o'clock putting a bed together? Where was you on a Sunday morning at 6 AM when I was having a mirror delivered that was bang crash up the ceiling, up the stairway? Didn't want to know that then, did you? Even when Mum called you and said you need to come because my daughters, they're squaring up, we can't do anything until an altercation takes place. So an altercation of being head to head with someone is not an altercation to them. If I then made a swing for it, it's an altercation. I think I might need my caffeine. This is the thing. There is no respect. There is no respect, and the only people that get punished are the victims. That is how messed up our society is now. And I feel it's messed up in a lot of areas. Not just to do with neighbours and tenants and everything like that. Pretty much in every walk of life. I feel the UK is well and truly screwed. Sorry if that's offensive to people. My personal opinion. What is great about Great Britain anymore? I can't see it. I feel it is everything and anything to penalise people. And you're penalising the wrong people. And yeah. God, imagine if we'd done a sit down with Shan talking about the government and their topics and issues. Whew, that would definitely be the longest one, innit? I think I'd be inundated. We'd all be having a rant. We would be like Rishi Sunak. Boom. Out. Put me and Mama G in charge. God, that'd be catastrophic. Can you imagine? Can you imagine Mama G being Prime Minister? Oh, good Lord. That would definitely be eventful, to say the least. But guys, that is the end of Sit Down with Shan. I feel like we've had a proper rabbit on. I am now going to sit in darkness. Turn the light off because my head is still pounding. Dose up on some more paracetamol. Sit in darkness, put my headphones in and edit this, and hopefully it'll be up for you tomorrow morning, which will be Sunday if you're watching it. Me and Mum are actually in London on Sunday. So this is the thing, I need an early night tonight because I've got to go into London tomorrow. We're going to a little exhibition that I picked Mum up for Mother's Day. You would have seen if you'd seen the vlog. So yeah, I was hoping for an early night. Don't think that's going to happen if I've got a hoover going on above my head. But yeah, thank you so much once again to all of you guys that have sent stuff in. As I say, everything does remain anonymous. If you want to send me an email, it is always on my link tree. Just send me an email. I always say, if you send me an email on your first one, don't have to, but I like it if I can see your little picture. So then I can put your name against it with a picture and I start to relate a face to the name. And a lot of you have been doing that. And as I say, now we've got a little community on our emails. If not, over on Instagram, lifestyle, or my food, I always put the question polls up. up, or if not, just send me a little comment on here if you don't mind it being public. But yeah, if you did enjoy the video, guys, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe down below. Leave me a comment. Have you had to deal with nightmare neighbours? How would you react to some of these situations? And would you be as calm and collected as some? Or are you a little bit hot-headed like me? Oops. Take care, guys, and I shall see you tomorrow. Is Monday. I'll see you. I think it's a cooking video. Hope you're excited, because it is going to be a fabulous one. My mouth's watering already. Bye, guys.